In Brazil, I can send you money right now. Not in 1 to 3 business days, now. And for free. At 2 in the morning on a Sunday using nothing but your phone number. It clears in about 3 seconds and neither of us pays a cent. That system is called Pix. In 4 years, it didn't just beat the credit card in Brazil, it made it kind of pointless. And here's the part that should bother you if you're watching this from the United States. The reason America doesn't have this isn't technology, it's politics. In fact, the US government is right now investigating Brazil over it. Let me show you what you're missing from the inside. First, cue the comparison you're about to make. Pix is not Brazilian Venmo, it's not an app that a startup built. Pix is public infrastructure built and run by the Central Bank of Brazil, launched in November 2020. Here's how it feels to use. Every account gets a key, like your phone number, your tax ID, your email, or a random code. You can turn that key into a QR code and tape it into a wall. If I wanted to pay you, I type your key or I scan your QR code. The money leaves my bank and lands in yours in about 3 seconds. Any bank to any bank, 24/7, holidays included. The transfer is final and irreversible. There's no card network in the middle. No, we'll settle this batch overnight. The central bank runs 2 things. The rail that settles the money instantly and a directory that maps your key to your account. It's not crypto, there's no blockchain, just signed encrypted messages on a private network. Boring on purpose, and boring is what scales to a whole country. Let me mark that concrete, because the numbers don't land until you picture it. Walk through any street market in Brazil and you'll see little QR codes taped to fruit stands and food carts. No card machine, no terminal rental, no, we only take cash, sir. You scan, you pay, the vendor's phone buzzes, done, before you've put your wallet away. Go out to dinner with 3 friends and splitting the bill takes like 10 seconds. Everyone fires their share to one phone number instantly. No app download, no it will hit your account on Tuesday, nothing. For an American used to waiting for days for an ACH transfer, that everyday normal looks like science fiction. And it did scale. By the way, by the end of 2025, Pix was running on the order of 8 billion transactions a year, moving more than 35 trillion reais. More than 180 million people use it, and basically it's like every adult in the country. My grandmother used Pix. The guy selling coconuts on the beach used Pix. That's not a tech demo, there's a country switching rails. Now, the part everyone gets wrong. People think Pix won because it's newer technology. It didn't. Instant transfers aren't new. Pix won because of a product decision made at the level of an entire country. Follow the incentives. A credit card charges the merchant around 2.34% of the sale. Debit like 1.13%. Pix about 0.33%. And for you, the individual, sending the money is free by rule. The central bank capped the fees and banned merchants from passing a surcharge to you. So there's no Pix fee at checkout to scare you off. Think about what that does. The merchant keeps more, the customer pays nothing, the money is instant. Every single incentive points the same direction. When the public option is cheaper, faster, and universal, people just move, and they did. In the first half of 2025, Pix passed 50% of all payment transactions in the country. Online, Pix hit around 44% versus roughly 41% for credit cards by the end of 2025, earlier than anyone forecast. Pix is growing about 2.5 times faster than credit cards. Debit cards, well, basically they're flat. The card is becoming the thing you use when Pix isn't an option, not the default one. But here's the move that actually made it inevitable. Participation was mandatory. So from day one, the central bank required every large bank to be on Pix. No, between quotes, let's see if markets adopt it. No chicken and egg. The network was full on launch day because the regulator made it full. A central bank did the one thing a startup can't. It removed the middleman's right to exist. That's the whole story. Not better tech, less friction, less rent seeking, and a mandate. Remember that, because it's exactly what the use. Remember that because it is. Remember that because it is exactly what the United States doesn't have. So, why can't America just copy this? It tried. Sort of. The US does have an instant rail now. It's called FedNow, run by the Federal Reserve, launched in 2023. On paper, it's the same idea as Pix. In practice, almost nobody uses it. By late 2025, around 1,500 institutions had signed up out of thousands, and adoption is crawling. There is also Zelle, but Zelle is a private network owned by big banks, not universal public infrastructure. Here's why FedNow is stuck, and it's almost funny. Banks won't join because their customers aren't asking for it. Customers aren't asking because their bank doesn't offer it. It's a perfect catch-22. Everyone's waiting for everyone else. Sound familiar? It's the exact cold start problem Pix never had. And that's the real difference. It was never about engineering. The US could build the rail in like a weekend, but it basically did. What it can do is tell Visa and MasterCard and entire payment fingers that a free public system will compete with them and win. They can't do that. Those airline miles and cashback you love, someone pays for them. It's the merchant who pays through that 2 to 3% fee baked into the price of everything you buy, even when you pay cash. A free public rail doesn't just compete with that system, it exposes it. Brazil didn't have that political gravity holding it back. The central bank decided the public good came first, shipped it, made it mandatory, made it free. The US has the technology and not the will. Brazil had the will. That gap, that's short 10 years. Now, it gets political, and this is the most recent twist. In July 2025, the US Trade Representative opened a formal trade investigation into Brazil. A Section 301 investigation, the kind aimed at unfair trade practices, and Pix is named on it. Read the actual argument, and it's almost an admission. The complaint is that Brazil's central bank creates, owns, operates, and regulates Pix. And that's making the big banks participate gives it unfair. And that making the big banks participate gives it an unfair edge over Visa and MasterCard. Sit with that for a second. The objection isn't that Pix is broken. The objection is that it works too well for free and US companies can compete with free. Brazil's answer was basically, we're not changing it. And they pointed out the obvious. The European Union, India, and the US itself, with FedNow, are all building public rails. The difference is theirs got adopted. So here's a picture. One country built a free, instant, universal payment system that is people actually love. And the most powerful economy on earth didn't ask, how will you build that too? It opened a trade investigation. When your payment app becomes a geopolitical problem, that's not a failure. That's the clearest possible proof that it worked. And Pix isn't even done. They've added contactless, tap your phone like a card. They added automatic recurring payments to go after subscriptions. Installment credit over Pix is on the way. It keeps eating more of what the card used to own. So when someone tells you the future of payment is some token or some app, I'd point south. The most important thing that happened to money in the last decade wasn't built by a startup in California. It was built by a central bank in Brazil, and most of the world outside still hasn't noticed it. I build products here with these constraints every week, and this is This is what the view from outside keeps missing. If that's interesting to you, stick around. Next one is how a Brazilian digital bank became worth more than the country's oil giant. See you then. Subscribe for more. Thank you so much. And I'm sorry for the accent. I'm trying.